Hi, I'm Jim of Sailboats to Go, and in this video I'm going to show you how we unfold the sail kit and put it on a bolt kayak. Let's jump ahead and I'll show you what the fully assembled sailboat's going to look like in about 10 minutes. That's right, we're going to get to this stage in about 10 minutes flat, even going slowly and explaining things along the way. Of course, we don't have the sail and mast step at this point, so less than 5 minutes additional will take care of that. 15 minutes total is plenty. So let's get started. Okay, this is the front crossbar, and this is the mast step. The mast step is the socket that holds up the mast. So we're just going to pass the front crossbar through there after we come under this rope. Okay, we put that right in the middle. All of the parts go together just hand tight. You don't need any tools during the normal assembly. So now we've got the mast step on the front crossbar, and we're ready for the side rails. These are the side rails. The leeboard mount is on the side rail. Everything goes together with these U-bolts, and you don't take a U-bolt completely apart, you just loosen it enough to slide it onto the mating piece. That makes everything go very fast. Once we get it on there, we tighten it down. Again, no tools, just hand tight. Short straps that we provide. These are beautiful straps. It's a stainless steel buckle. Goes through the D-ring. It's part of the kayak. And we tighten it up. And then we come down here. And we're going to put the end strap through this D-ring. And the same thing on the other side. All right, let's come back and do the rear assembly. This is the rear crossbar. It has a center section and two slide-off end sections. No reason to slide off both of them ever. I just put it away in the bag like this. Just slide off one. Okay. This is the right angle piece for the rear crossbar. And I'm going to slide the rear crossbar center section through the U-bolt as I go underneath these ropes that are part of the boat. See this slot in the rear crossbar center section? This U-bolt's going to fit right in there, and later we're going to tighten it up. Okay, I'm going to slide on this end piece now that we've got the U-bolt on. And you can adjust how long you want that rear crossbar to be by using the spring buttons and the holes. So I've put it in the second to shortest hole on each side. Now we take a strap and we go through these D-rings. All these D-rings are standard parts of the boat. You don't have to add anything to the boat. We've designed the sail kit to work with the boat the way it comes out of the box. Alrighty. I keep a strap in the end of the right angle piece. There's no reason to ever take that strap out. It just goes in the bag with that strap on it. Anything I can do to save a few seconds during assembly, I do. There we go. Alright, now we're going to install 2 more short straps. And these are to arrest any side-to-side movement that might otherwise occur with the rear assembly. So what we're doing is going around this rope that's part of the boat, going through the U-bolt that hasn't been tightened yet. And once we've done that, this will not be able to slide side to side. Be nice and secure. Okay, now we're going to tighten up the knobs on this U-bolt. There you go. That is not going to slip around. So, these are the steering oars. I've got one already put together here. They just come apart in the middle like that, so that they can fit in the bag. And this is the oar pin that holds the oar in place and allows it to pivot, but not to fall off in the water. And I always put a strap between the oar and the pivot bolt of the oar pin, and I leave it there. When it goes into the bag, it will still be there. And that just loops over the bottom of the rear crossbar, and that will keep the oar from ever popping out of the socket if I'm not paying attention to it while I'm sailing. But it's real easy to get off, just like that. Same thing on the other side. Some people ask, why do we have 2 steering oars? Well, you don't strictly need 2 steering oars. I just find that it's more comfortable to use the steering oar that is on the same side of the boat as the sail at any given time. And rather than switching the oar from side to side, or using the oar on the side that's opposite the sail, we provide 2 steering oars so that you can use whichever one you want at the moment. Alright, I'm going to put on the lee boards. The lee board is just a fin in the water, performs the same function as a centerboard on other sailboats. It allows you to sail across the wind or tack upwind by resisting the sideways force that otherwise would slide the boat sideways very fast. Most of the things in this video are the kit just totally standard. This is a little extra crush option to make the lee board snap on so that you don't have to do this nut every time. Okay, so loosen that, and you can raise these anytime you want. Tighten it, and it'll hold them down. Once all the other 4 straps are on, holding the front assembly onto the boat, then there's a 5th strap. That's the last one. Goes on the front, goes through that ring, through this D-ring that's in the bow, and like that. And then when you tighten that up, it's pulling against the rear straps that are on the side rails back here. And we end up with tension between this one pulling forward and those pulling back. I should mention that these should be tight. These nuts on top of the leeboard mounts lock the telescoping mechanism. These side rails are made so that they can telescope out and be longer, which is necessary for some other boats. Now let's look at the mast. This is our standard mast. Goes together just like this, slips together. Okay, I can't put it vertically in the boat here because we're indoors, but you can see how it goes. It slips right into the mast step, and that's the way it goes. Now we're going to look at the sail. This is the way you would have the sail folded inside the carry bag, if you have a carry bag. And now I'm going to unfold it. We offer a variety of sail color schemes. I really like this one. This is our sail F, which is blue, white, yellow. Okay, what I'm doing, each spar, these poles are called spars. They also have individual names. This is the boom, and the other one is the gaff, or the top spar. Anyway, the boom comes in 3 sections, and I'm just feeling for the joints inside the sleeve of the sail and sliding them together. Once they're slid together, pull the sail tight and put the sail string into this cam cleat at the end, jam cleat I guess it is. Pull it gently tight like that, and then put the string down into the jaws of the clam cleat. And then another thing I like to do, not really totally necessary, but I'm going to put a loose knot in it so that if it ever did pop out of that clam cleat while I'm sailing, the farthest it would go is when the knot got that far. Okay, now I'm doing the gaff, or top spar. Same thing, feeling for the joints and fitting them together. Pulling a little bit of gentle tension on it, putting the string through into the clam cleat, a little bit of tension down into the jaws. That's all you have to do. I like, as an extra measure of security, to put a loose knot in that I would be able to get out easily when I want to fold up the sail again. Before you do that step we just did, do check the string at the front corner of the sail, the front bottom corner of the sail, and make sure that it has been secured in the clam cleat down there. So when you pull those sail strings at the back of the boom and the top of the gaff, they're pulling against something that is secure. And that front string should be pulled far enough so that the whole sail is pretty far forward and pretty far down on the spars. If you get the sail too far back and too far up on the spars, you can damage it, because when you spread the spars out, it could put too much strain on the fabric here at the front bottom corner. See how that's loose? That's what you want. All right, sail is ready to put on the boat. you just lay it there. This fitting here is called the mast slide. Mast slide. You might also call it a gooseneck. That's common sailing terminology. Lay the folded sail on the boat next to the mast step. Make sure that this clam cleat at the front of the boom is on top, not invisible down on the underneath side. And then you can put the mast slide in place, and then put the mast into the mast step. And then you're ready to go. We're going to rig the halyard and raise the sail. This is the mast. Mast goes in the socket. And this rope is the halyard. I'm going to pull down on the halyard and the sail is going to go up. Okay, at this point I need to help it up with my other hand just a little bit and then continue raising. Alright, last thing is the stabilizer float. You could sail the boat kayak, I've done it, without stabilizers. If you have a passenger, it's not too tippy. Sailing solo is a little dicey in the boat kayak. There's other kayaks that are more stable. They're also more money. So I think most people, nearly everyone, will want to have the stabilizer pontoons, particularly if you're sailing solo. The pontoons just slide into the front crossbar. And the spring button pops up through the hole like that. We have another one on the other side. And I purposely did not inflate this one ahead of time so you can see how easy they are to inflate. You just take the same pump that comes with the kayak and that you inflate the kayak with. You screw the valve body into the stabilizer pontoon. Put the pump hose into the top part, and then we're going to put that cap on at the end. So here we go. Inflating the stabilizer pontoon. It didn't take too long, did it? You could also do them by mouth in a pinch, but I think you're always going to have the pump, so why not use it? Okay, make sure that the valve body is tight, the cap is tight, and don't lose the little gasket that goes between the valve body and the threaded hole in the pontoon itself. So this is ready to slip into the other side. We have another rope we have to talk about. This rope is called the sheet. Yep, that's right, sheet, just like the fabric on your bed. But this sheet is a rope. A lot of people think when a sailor says sheet, he means the sail, since that's a piece of fabric, but that's not correct. The sheet on a sailboat is a rope that goes from the sailor's hand, maybe through some rigging, but from his hand to the boom, and it allows the sailor to control the position of the sail so that it catches the wind correctly from moment to moment. There are two options for installing the sheet. One option is you put the rope fitting for the sheet right at the back end of the boom, and you would just tie that rope right in through this opening in the fitting, or we also provide a short strap. You can put the short strap through the fitting and then tie the rope to the strap. So that's option one, and the nice thing about it is it keeps the sheet out of the way of your passenger who may be up toward the middle of the boat, and it also gives you the leverage of pulling directly from the end of the boom. So you're utilizing the full length of the boom for leverage. But some people like to have the rigging of the sheet fully in front of them, and so they will put the rope fitting here toward the middle of the boom, and there's a cutout in the sail provided for that purpose. So you want to put that rope fitting right toward the front end of that cutout so that you'll be able to slide it back when you're folding the sail up to put it in the bag. And then you put the strap through the fitting. And then if you want 2-to-1 mechanical advantage, instead of tying the rope directly into that strap loop, you tie the sheet to something on the kayak that's nearby. In this case, on the Bolt kayak, there's a D-ring down here that's perfect for the purpose. And I just tied a knot into the sheet beyond the D-ring, so now that's secured. That rope cannot pull through that D-ring. And now I'll take the end of the sheet and I'll put it through that strap loop. And now that strap loop is going to act like a pulley and give me 2-to-1 mechanical advantage. If the wind isn't too strong, then you might just want to tie the end of the sheet directly into the rope fitting or into the strap loop and go in a straight line from here to your hand. One final detail: rig the downhaul line from the front of the boom to the ring at the base of the mast step. All right, we are ready to go sailing. The last thing I want to do in this video is talk a little bit about upgrades and options that are available for the sail kit. We saw one, and that was the snap-off lee board. Isn't that nice? Just comes off. You don't have to stand there and go twist, 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 twist. And this is, able to go in a bag just the way it is. The standard one doesn't snap apart like that. And so you've got to screw and unscrew the attachment bolt each time you go sailing. Next option I want to talk to you about is a different style of lee board. You saw the standard lee board is a black trapezoid. The upgraded lee board, we call them the Unbreakables, is made of polycarbonate, same stuff they make jet plane canopies and bulletproof glass windows and crash helmets out of. And it's also a more long and skinny form factor. Otherwise, the same concept. A fin that goes in the water and opposes the sideways force on the sail when you're sailing across the wind or tacking into the wind. So for a small additional cost, you can upgrade and substitute this lee board instead of that one in your sail kit. The next one I want to talk to you about is the possibility of a rigid pontoon instead of the inflatable. Obviously, the inflatable is more compact and portable. It's also lower cost. These will go faster in a strong wind. In a very strong wind, when that pontoon on the downwind side is forced hard into the water, the inflatables exert more drag than the rigid streamlined pontoons. So these are available as an upgrade substitution. They still are very packable because the arm comes off and the vertical tube comes off and lays down flat like that. So this is the way it goes in the bag and is still very packable. We are working on a new kind of inflatable pontoon that I've tested prototypes, and I think they're every bit the equal of the rigid pontoon, even in a strong wind, even when they're being forced under. but we don't have them yet. Maybe by the time you're viewing this video, they will be on the market. What else can I show you? We have what we call a steering balance tuner. And that's a little piece that goes on the front of the kayak. You see these two U-bolts. The front crossbar passes through those two U-bolts, and the mast step then goes here and is farther forward rather than being right on the front crossbar. And you can select where you want the mast to be then, a little bit farther forward or a lot farther forward. And that affects the steering on the boat. If you move it farther forward, it makes the steering lighter. You don't want to move it too far forward because that will give the boat a tendency to turn downwind, and we don't want that. But you can, with the steering balance tuner option, experiment and find a position that's just right for how you want the steering to feel. Another option is our larger sail. That's really the most popular upgrade that we have. This sail is a 45 square foot sail, which is decent size, and if the wind is strong, you won't miss anything by having that. But if the winds are weaker, like under 10 miles an hour, then you would be glad to have a larger sail. This sail over here is 22% larger. This is a 55 square foot sail instead of the 45 square foot. It's really not more than a few ounces heavier, so don't worry about portability on that. But it has this spar extension that clips onto the gaff and makes the sail taller. It's the same length on the boom, but the spar extension makes it over 2 feet taller than the standard sail. Otherwise, it goes together the same way. With the 55 square foot sail, we use a different mast because the mast has to be taller and stronger. And so this is our heavy duty mast, and it goes together a little differently. It's three pieces instead of two. The third piece is this sliding piece you see here on the top section. This is the bottom section. This is the top section with the eye. And here's how they go together. There's a spring button, and there's holes there. What happened to the bottom section of my mast? Oh, it fell down in the boat. Okay. And then goes like that. You really don't need this middle hole, and in future production we're going to eliminate that middle hole, because if you want the mast 6 inches shorter, you can just slide it down, and then this just like the mast step, the top section sits in there instead of locking in there. But I recommend you use it full height all the time anyway. So that's the heavy duty mast. You can use the heavy duty mast with the smaller sail, the 45 square foot sail, and that is an upgrade option that we offer. The advantage of it is the mast is stronger and it's taller, and being taller, that gets the boom even higher. We always offer pretty good headroom under the boom, unlike some other sailboats, but with the heavy duty mast, it's even more headroom under the boom, which adds to comfort and convenience. So that's it. That's the amazing folding sail kit.